Hello guys, welcome back to Dharma Geosphere. Today I'll be interacting with you on environmentalism in geography. Environmentalism has three dimensions. One is the deterministic or the determinism of environmentalism, and then there is possibilism, and then there is stop and go determinism. As you are all aware, determinism is the dominant environment is the dominant force in shaping the cultures of the human beings, and the human he is passive to the his surroundings, and he is shaped by his surroundings. Say, for example, people living in hilly areas, mountainous regions, they are conservative, they are very traditional, they are not at all aggressive, and they lead a very simple and straightforward life without being aggressive, because they live away from the mainland. And similarly, those living in the tropics, say for example, as everything is available because of the consistent rainfall and the happy temperatures, they are much more laid back, and they live a very comfortable life with a, and also develop a sense of laziness in their attributes. Similarly, possibilism. Possibilism is the way man creates possibilities in trying to not only deal with the environment, but also conquer and move ahead. The way you may have seen a place like Las Vegas, which was once upon a time a total dreaded desert, has been converted into one of the most beautiful places of where everyone longes to go for tourism. Similarly, in Alaska, which is totally covered with ice, people have built homes like igloos to stay, so they have customized and adapted themselves to the harsh environment. And like that, there are many examples of possibilism where the man has adapted himself and tried to attend to the environmental aspects, and has been the dominant force when it came to environment. You can see in mall in the Emeritus, which is totally desert. There is skiing, ice skiing. So man can create so many things by his imagination, and by his skills and by his intelligence. So in possibilism, there are many possibilities available. It is for the man to see how best he can adapt himself, and how best he can convert what is available with him in the environment, and do his best to make himself comfortable. What is more important in the determinism and the possibilism topics is, you should remember the main protagonists, or the people who have been in support of the respective ideas or perspectives of environmental determinism and environmental possibilism. So as far as environmental determinism is concerned, you should not only just remember the main geographers who were supportive of these perspectives, but also their book and also their famous quote. Sometimes a quote can come as a question asking you to elaborate or explain. Then you should not be taken aback. You should have a very clear understanding that this is a quote given by a particular geographer, and he was an environmental determinist. Since environmental determinism and possibilism have been there for a very long time, instead of asking a direct question, probably there can be a question which is indirect, probably in the form of a quote. So what I have done in my slides is, for against each geographer, environmental determinist, environmental possibilist, I have given their book, I have given their quote, and what mainly they have said. So as far as environmental determinism is concerned, we have done in our earlier lectures about Carl Ritter, and then you had the Charles Darwin, this origin of species. like Alexander von Humboldt and the American geographer Ellen Churchill Semple, and of course the great Frederick Ratzel. So all these were the main determinists who propounded their theories relating to the influence of environment on man. Similarly, you have possibilists. One of the foremost was Weber, and then you also had Carl Saar, then you had John Fleur, and then of course the most famous Paul Vidal Blasch, and then you also have Isaac Bowman. So these are all the main possibilists. So you remember the 6 determinists and about 5 possibilists, and what they have written and what are the main quotes that we will see in our slides, and then we will also understand what are the other recent concepts related to environmentalism, like the stop and go determinism by the Griffith Taylor, who was also into the possibilist taste, as well as the stop and go determinism and other modern concepts related to the environmentalism. So now we'll see what each of the geographers who were the supporters of environmentalism, determinism and possibilism, what important book they have written, and in what way their quotes are important. So this is the examples of determinism, and this is the example of the various important geographers who were the main proponents. Here is Karl Ritter. His famous book was Die Erdkunde, or the Earth Science. His famous quote is that I am ready to argue that geography is next to divine philosophy. And then Alexander von Humboldt, we all know that he wrote Cosmos, and his quote was, in this great chain of causes and effects, no single fact can be considered in isolation. And then Charles Darwin, of course we all know about the origin of species. What he said was one general law leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely multiply and vary, and let the strongest live and the weakest die. And then W.M. Davies, his famous book was the Geographical Essays. His famous quote, it is the relationship between the physical environment and the environed organism, between physiography and ontography. He just coined this term that constitutes the essential principles of geography today. And then, of course, Frederick Ratzel, Anthropogeography, and his famous quote, a philosophy of the history of human race worthy of its name must begin with heavens and descend to the earth, must be charged with the conviction that all existence is one, a single conception sustained from beginning to end upon an identical law. And then, of course, Ellen Churchill Semple, she continued what Frederick Ratzel in his Anthropogeography has said, and then she continued that with the influences of geographic environment, and she very categorically said that man is the product of the earth's surface. She is almost associated with the anthropogeography, and the environmentalist debate was the one which was started by her as environmental determinism. Then possibilism, I have already said that people believe that not the environment are the architects of their own cultures. People have ability to build igloos, their sky mall in Emeritus, and the barren desert converted into Las Vegas. But of course we all know, because of man, there are also so many anthropogenic effects like floods and cyclones, etc. So Weber was the first propounder of the concept of possibilism, followed by Vidal de la Blache, who reflected, and he often spoke of environmental possibilism, and then he advocated that man has changed the environment, and he has given many examples apart from what these geographers have given. We also know that there has been industrial revolution because of the men's ability to industrialize, use modern instruments and weapons and other machinery, and then you also have agricultural advancement, and you also have technological revolution as we see today, and of course not to speak of the IT revolution. So this is the agricultural advancement, this is the industrial revolution, this is the technological revolution, and the major thinkers of geographical possibilism, first was the Lucien Febvre. His geographical introduction to history, he said the possibilist is a geographic agent and not the least. He everywhere contributes his share towards investing the physiognomy of the earth with those changing expressions which is the special charge of geography of today. Then Paul Levi-Lablache, Principles de Geographie Humaine, that is the Human Geography book, Principles, and his famous quote, nature sets limits and offers possibilities for human settlement, but the way man reacts or adjusts to these conditions depends on his own traditional way of life. And then Herbert John Fleur, his book of the natural history of man in Britain, was quite a revealing book at that time, because when the people of Europe acquired the idea of spending the earth's capital expressed in coal and minerals in order to accumulate social luxury and political power for successful businessmen, they also learned to think of themselves more highly than they ought. So that was a very important revelation from Fleur. And then of course Carl Saar, we have been talking about Carl Saar and his students on the human settlements in America. His book on morphology of landscape was another very important book leading to the possibilistic theory. It was totally against determinism. His quote, the famous quote was, every field of knowledge is characterized by its declared preoccupation with a certain group of phenomena. And then Isaiah Bowman, he wrote this famous book, The Pioneer Fringe, and his quote is regarding citizenship comes first today in our crowded world. No man can enjoy the privileges of education and thereafter, with a clear conscience, break his contract with society. And then came the stop and go determinism by Griffith Taylor, which means one should regulate one's activity as red light acts for traffic regulations. And then also further came the neo-determinist. It is nothing but another term for stop and go determinism. And then the recent changes included the new approaches like positivism, which appeared as a new approach in the 50s. It gave emphasis on the use of quantitative techniques that we have already done, and that is nothing but positivism. Then we have scholars like Berry, David Harvey, and William Bunge, who are among the proponents of this positivist approach. We have already done dealt about that, and then came the welfare geography, that also we have done. And then as D.M. Smith and David Harvest, they were raising some very important issues, social issues related to poverty, regional inequalities, urban slums, etc., and tried to focus on the welfare approach on who gets what, where, and how. And then humanism, humanistic approach also we have dealt. And so that is all for today. Don't please take the environmentalism lightly or think that it has been there for so long and so brush it off. IPSC may just catch you on that. So don't leave any stone unturned. Be clear, be thorough in each and every aspect on topic of the geographical thought. We have covered each and every topic. There are just about a couple of topics left related to the place, space and location. That's an important one. And then we also have gender in geography, and then we'll see what else we can do. We'll be next week completing these 3 books related to the perspectives in human geography, and then we'll move on to theories. And please catch up with me on the 9th, perhaps next Saturday, wherein you will have the GS1 mains paper, in which there is a geography section. We will see if we can discuss the questions on that day. Okay guys, all the best for your forthcoming exam. Stay tuned, stay focused, and go and just give it a crack. All the best. Bye.